You know that feeling when you have a problem, a real issue, and you just have no idea where to even start? Well, you're not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down the official grievance system right here in the Philippines. We're going to map the whole thing out, step by step, so you know exactly what to do to make sure your voice gets heard. All right, let's dive in.
So whether it's, a simple dispute with a neighbor or maybe something more serious, like a really frustrating run-in with an official, it's super common to feel kind of lost. But here's the thing. There is a system in place for this stuff. The real trick is just knowing where to start. And believe it or not, that first step is usually right there in your own neighborhood.
Right, so that first level, your absolute go-to, your starting point for pretty much any community issue is the barangay. Just think of it like the front door for sorting out problems, right where it's all happening. The whole system is really built on this one simple idea. Let's try to solve problems at the most local level we can first. So before you even start thinking about lawyers or city hall, everything is designed to start right here. But, and this is a big but, its role is super specific, and honestly, misunderstanding what it's for is a really common mistake.
Okay, so this is an absolutely critical point. The whole purpose of the barangay is mediation. That's it. It's there to help people talk, to find some common ground. It is not a formal court. You won't find lawyers or judges there. The goal isn't about winning some big legal battle, it's about finding a peaceful local solution.
But what happens if that just doesn't work? What if talking it out fails, or the problem is just way too serious for that kind of local mediation? Well, that's when you have to start climbing the ladder of the official system. So let's take a look at what that path actually looks like.
So this path is actually really clearly laid out. Step 1, you start at the barangay. If that doesn't resolve it, your next stop is the City Hall Barangay Secretariat. They're the ones who oversee all the barangays. And then at the very top of this particular chain, you have the Department of the Interior and Local Government, which you'll probably hear called the DILG.
And here's a really crucial point. This ladder isn't just for when a simple dispute doesn't get solved. If you experience any kind of mistreatment or, any form of abuse from an official at a lower level, this is the exact process you follow to file a formal complaint. You absolutely have a right to escalate.
Okay, we need to totally shift gears here. Because when the police are involved in an interaction, well, the stakes are just higher, and the rules of the game are different. This situation needs a very specific and, frankly, a very careful approach.
Look, if you remember only one single thing from this entire section, please make it this. Documentation is your shield. Seriously. In any encounter with law enforcement, the single most powerful tool you have to protect yourself is a detailed, factual record of exactly what went down.
So what does that actually mean in practice? It means you write everything down. Get the officer's name, their badge number, note the exact date and time it all happened, and you should always ask for some kind of official record or a report number. Trust me, this information becomes absolutely critical if you ever need to follow up or file a complaint down the road.
All right, so you've got all your documentation. Now what? Where do you take it? This is where the official watchdogs come into play. These are the specific groups that are designed to make sure there's accountability.
And the main watchdog you need to know about here is the IAS. That stands for the Internal Affairs Service. Their whole job, their entire reason for existing, is to be the oversight body for the Philippine National Police. If you have a complaint against an officer, they are the ones who investigate it.
Now, it's not enough to just know that the IAS exists, right? You gotta know where to go. Their central office is located in Cubao. So if you're filing a formal, serious complaint, that's where you're headed.
And let's be absolutely clear on this. If you feel, for any reason, that proper procedures weren't followed during an interaction, you have every right to take that issue to the IAS. That is precisely why they exist, to be the check and balance on how the police operate.
All right, so we've covered the basics for community disputes and what to do in police interactions. Now, let's pull all of this together into a simple, really powerful playbook. Think of it as the golden rule for protecting yourself no matter what process you're going through.
I think the number one question that people have is this. When do I escalate? How do I know it's time, and how long am I supposed to wait? And that's a totally fair question. The answer really comes down to just keeping an eye out for a few key warning signs.
Okay, here are your red flags. First, if your complaint or your case just seems to be moving at a snail's pace and you're getting no explanation why, that's a big one. Second, if the whole process just feels, a little too informal, maybe a bit off the books, or something just feels wrong, you have to trust that gut feeling. These are crystal clear signs that it might be time to take things to the next level.
And all of this brings us to maybe the most important piece of advice in this entire explainer. If you see those red flags, do not wait. Escalate early. Reaching out to an oversight body like the DILG or the IAS isn't about being aggressive. It's about protecting yourself and making sure the system actually works the way it's supposed to. Look, knowing your rights is one thing, but knowing when to use them, that's what really makes all the difference.